for the first part. So let's see then how this race goes, as currently HJ is on pole position, replaced by Evanjo now, who currently replaces HJ to pole with a 41.9. Rozov has gone into P2, 5 thousandths away from Evanjo in P1 there, so very fine margins indeed. And we've got further back as Rosnov has gone off the track there. I think he's getting out of the way for some people. There is 31 drivers currently out on the circuit. We've got 3.5 minutes left to go in the session. Ewan Small currently 5 thousandths ahead of Booth, and Lewis Campbell currently in P6 there, ahead of Menacers in P7. Harry Palmer in 8th ahead of Daroon, and Jorgensen in P10, who's the second further back, as we've got a few more changes in the midfield there, with Jacob Booth currently in P11 in the Aston Martin. And we've got a few people, including Garrett. He's a contender for this season, I dare say, is Garrett. He's got a lot of pace, but he hasn't set a lot of time just yet. So let's see what the Brit could do, as he's currently making his way now towards the Variante outer chicane. We are currently live streaming, so I'm not quite sure what happened to the first stream, but hopefully everything is all good now. So here we are then on board with Jay Garrett as he makes his way now towards Variante outer 1, or Variante 1, sorry, then going down into Variante 2 then. I got the racing line on, I don't know how to turn that off, so I maybe have to go check in my settings. I did put it on hidden, I think, so let me go check my settings. By the way, I'm completely brand new to all of this, so this is my first time commentating on a different game other than F1, so I really hope that so I'll turn the race. There we go. Racing line is off then, as Jake Garrett currently puts his car into P5, just ahead of UDOG there in P6. There he is then, as he makes his way towards Ravazza 1, and now we've got a car right in front of us, so hopefully it doesn't affect his performance, although he did just go on the grass in Ravazza 2. So here is Ewan Small making his way now towards the line. What's it going to be for the Scotsman as he currently crossed the line right now with a few moments time? It's going to be P1 with a 41.5. Ewan Small is on pole for the time being, 2/10 ahead of Evanjo, who's showing some mighty pace, but he's currently off the circuit. I think he's trying to avoid people or return to garage then to get fully out of the way. And HJ currently in P4. I think he's on his second lap, not really improving, as Nathan Booth pops himself up into P3 now, with more cars coming out of this on the circuit there, as he currently heads back in the pit lane. And Campbell, what can he do? A big contender as well, I dare say, in this league. He's had a lot of mighty pace of Formula 1, but can he transfer it towards ACC, which is much more preferred game now than it was, well, when it was first introduced, because I know a lot more people are starting to play this game, including myself, and we've all had good experiences, but looks like he just managed to get away. The green car in the foreground there just escaped free, as Campbell makes his way safely now as he makes his way towards the middle sector. I don't have the sector times, unfortunately. Maybe I have to check that if I want to go on drive. And there we go then. I don't think we have the settings, but who are on board? I think we're on board with Hobbsy now, as let's see who's further up the grid then. So Rob Allen is still in P30. He's currently in the pit lane, as Scott Dogg's in 26th place there. I preferred the old settings, but look at this, all the camera settings. I have to get used to this, you know, because it's all brand new to me. But we're on board with Savez as he makes his way towards the end of the first set. Currently improving by almost 2/10 now, as the Delta continues to extend towards 4/10, but lost a bit of time coming out of Tulsa. Can he make it back up, coming towards uphill at Piratella? We go, another fast left-hander, we go riding uphill, and let's see then how he takes this corner, as I flicked off ball with him, so press the wrong button there, as he goes into second gear on the exit then, as we watch on board inside the car to see what he's doing, as we make our way now towards Acromeno. He takes it very nicely indeed, slightly missing the apex there, but keeps it within the track limits, and you can get away with multiple track limits too around here. So he's lost a bit of time in that middle sector, has Sage Preserve in P11 there, so let's see if we can try and make it back up as we come out of the chicane. I think it missed a lot of action, so I might want to go back on board with return to garage just in case, because there is better well, you can see that the whole timing screen is there, whereas if I go in the drive section I can't really see out. But I've got a replay mode as well, which could be quite interesting and useful for the race, just in case if anything happens, just have a quick flick through as the invisible cars go through. So I can't really see much there going on, but I'll have to quit that because it's not currently working so far. So the spectator menu is not available for me, but I'll return to garage right now to try and see if there's any more changes throughout the midfield then. So got more people setting times. Dylan Crosby is currently in P31 there, so hasn't set a proper lap time for himself. But I am stuck on board with his camera angle, so I forgot all about that. So I might have to go change the camera setting to whatever I like. What should I choose it on? I need to go off board, which is more ideal for me. Forgot how to do that. Yeah, I should forgot how to do it, so I might need Harry Palmer back. There we go. I managed to do it then. So off board because it's much better, as we can see what's going on the circuit then. So on board with YZF going through Peratella once again as he currently improves, as there's a car right in front of us as we make our way through Peratella once again. The F1 Canadian Grand Prix is on, but obviously I won't spoil that. But I've got to tell you, it has been an interesting race so far, that's all I'm going to say. Obviously I don't want to spoil it, and plus I haven't seen the whole of it myself, as the car in the foreground has gone off the track there. Oh, there's a spinner, car 666, that was Hansen, who's gone for a spin in the McLaren there, unfortunately. So probably got the throttle way too early as the Ford makes his way through the chicanes. Very nicely there indeed, gained himself a few hundreds in the process, did a Zev. But yeah, this ACC game hasn't been bad so far. I'm actually enjoying it, so hopefully more commentary is to come in the future as I go back on board with this to see what's happening. I don't like the way it's flicking through like P22 then to P5. That's quite weird. Unless I'm doing... Yeah, there we go. Did it wrong. Ewan Small currently in the pit lane. Josh Evandro is currently on a flying lap then as he makes his way out of the Tamburello chicane. Now making our way towards the Villeneuve corner, where I think Villeneuve is currently at the Canadian Grand Prix as he criticised Ricardo during the end. But there's a car off the circuit. Luckily gets out the way and back in the garage then as he satisfied with his lap time. Harry Palmer's just popped up into P4, the latest run he's done so far, but on board with Evandro. We're going to drive with him to see what he's currently doing, as I haven't done the settings right. So let me go and find Josh again. Where is Evandro? Yeah, that's what I don't like about it. I wish you could just switch on board with these very quickly, but I think I need to go back to return to garage because he's almost towards the finish line. So here he is then, actually goes off the track, does Evandro, so I wonder how much time he's lost there. Has that lap time been invalidated? I'm not quite sure, because obviously the track limit is on as strict as Formula 1 as he mounts the curb going into the Valladolid chicane. And Nathan Booth is currently 8 thousandths off of Evandro there in a P2, so not too far away is Nathan Booth. But Ewan Small currently occupies the front row, and Tope in P17 in the BMW, 1.5 seconds away, just pops himself into P17 there, as on board with Evandro. There's 5 minutes left to go in the session, as let's see where Evandro could pop his McLaren as he makes his way now towards the finish line. Yellow flags there, yellow flags signalling that there's been a problem on the track or a spinner, and Evandro does not improve on his lap time there. What about Rosnov coming through? I think it is Torsen now in the Ferrari, so their home Grand Prix. I believe World Endurance Racing were racing here in Imola about a month ago or two, so yeah, very interested to see what the Ferrari can do around here as qualifying has almost come to an end with 4 minutes left to go. I think the session has ended because in the top right corner it says 000 and at the top of the screen it says 4 minutes and 20, so I'm not quite sure if qualifying's over or not, to be honest. I'm not quite sure what 0-0 means, but anyways, we continue as we've got a few cars in the pit lane. I think Jorgensen's got up into P14, Eckholt in 30th place with Drew in 12th, and Dunley currently in P11, 2 tenths away outside the top 10. Campbell in P9 there with Zev goes up. I think he's just moved up a place, or that's somebody else. I think it was Campbell who moved up a place. There he is. Campbell goes up into P6, 4 tenths behind of our pole sitter Ewan, who's currently still in the pit lane then, as he's still got that pole around the circuit with a 41.5. I think that's what they're aiming for as well. So what's our lap time there? Ooh. I just looked at a spoiler on Discord, so I'm currently looking away from that. I looked down at my phone and somebody put a spoiler in the Discord. Luckily, the whole message hasn't popped up, otherwise I'd be fuming. But qualifying has ended then, and it is going to be Ewan Small, the Scotsman, who's going to be on pole around around the circuit of Imola. Classic track this track is around Imola then. So 5 minutes until we get racing again. I'll run you through the order. So number 10 of BMW of Ewan Small currently on pole ahead of Josh Evandro. What another great performance again from Josh, really stepping up the bar this season. Last season's champion is currently in P3 in the beam ahead of the highest Ferrari in P4. Harry Palmer in P5 ahead of Campbell in the Audi there, the Lamborghini. Jake Garrett in 7th place ahead of Jay. Zaitsev in 9th place ahead of Meneses. And I really apologise if I do say the name wrong, by the way. Just let me know in the comment section. Also, Jay Dudley in P11 ahead of Droon Eckholt in P13, Jorgensen P14, Pell in P15, Pulkien in 16th ahead of Tobe, Son in P18 ahead of Wichtrup, Wayne McCarney currently in P20 ahead of Longfellow. And there's a lot of familiar names there with Lindrum in P22 ahead of Matthew Hobbs, Scott Dobbs in P24 in the Nissan, Jacob Booth, not where he likes to be, in P25, Maharley in P16 ahead of Thomas, and Hodgben 28th ahead of Hansen, Robert Allen in 13th ahead of Dylan Crosby, and yeah, that's me, P32 there as a spectator. So 31 drivers will race around here in Imola, and we should see a fascinating 1 hour race around here in Imola as well. Contact can be made, especially going down into the Tamburello chicane. I think we saw it during the Endurance World Championship in the first corner once we got green flag racing. I'm not quite sure who it was at the time, but the safety car pretty much came out immediately, or a red flag, as there was contact down there before turn number 2, because turn 1's that little left-hander into it before we head down into the proper chicane of turn 2. Hi Nathan, how you doing, mate? Good job on P3, by the way. Good luck for the race, and we'll see how it pans out. For my first ever commentary on a different game. I've never done commentary on a different game other than F1, so it's a brand new experience for me, as well as racing here in ACC2 and the F124 game, which has been very interesting throughout the whole season. But I'm currently enjoying commentating for ACC so far. It's been good, despite it's been qualifying, and we'll have a rolling start, I think, here. I don't think there's no standing start in ACC, so we'll see then. Guys, got to remain in double file. You can't overtake during the, I say, formation lap. 31 cars to keep an eye on, Jamie. You'll smash it, mate. Thank you, Scott, and good luck wherever you are down there in P24. One formation lap, a rolling start. Thank you, Scott. And go Lexus go, says Kevin Dewell. Where is Kevin so far? Is he not racing here? No, he's not. So I haven't seen Kevin's name so far, unless, of course, that's him. I think Kevin. I don't think Dewell's his last name, innit? Is it? That is Kevin in P12, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Apologies, Kevin. You're doing great. Oh, thank you, Flying Dane. And shout out to your drivers, Eckholt and Wichtrup. Yeah, thank you, Flying Dane. Appreciate that, mate. I'm a full-time commentator on Formula 1 for those people who do not know me. This is my first ever experience here on ACC. So if I mispronounce your names, if I get things wrong, take it easy on me. I'm more of a F1 expert than a world supercar expert. So racing in the GT3, so all similar categories. There should be no differences whatsoever, other than obviously the cars and how they perform around the circuit. I know some cars are fast on the straights in comparison to others as well, naturally just faster, and some are better in the corners, and some don't react well in terms of clattering the corners around here in Imola. But we'll see how it all pans out. Dry weather here in Imola as well, and we could get racing in about a minute's time. Although we do have a formation lap, which could be very interesting indeed. I don't know about the strategies now, how many stops you got to make. Maybe 2, I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? I'm not going to make any assumptions or guesses, just in case I get it completely wrong and make a fool myself. But obviously, I think these guys are going to go for a pit stop or fuel as well. But we'll see what do you do in an hour race? What is the strategy around here? Obviously, these guys have their own fuel calculations around here as well, so we'll see who's got the best strategy as well. But Nathan Booth, P3, who won majority of races last season, can he keep on form? He's got Josh Evandro, who's really stepped up the mark here in ACC, judging by his results. And 30 seconds left to go, says the track commentator too. And I'll have to get used to all these settings too. I'm not drive. It says drive, but I'm not going to press that just in case it actually puts me in the grid or in the pit lane. So I'm not pressing that just in case it actually puts me in the pit lane. But I do want to use it though, because I want to go on board with different cameras, if that makes sense. I wish the spectator menu was improved like F1, where I've got all the settings that I need on one screen rather than clicking through like different things like drive and return to garage. But I think we're going to go for the formation lap, as all the drivers will have to get their tyre pressures warmed up then, as off Small goes. Left Josh and Nathan there, as Josh didn't get the best getaway either in the McLaren. Nathan Booth in the Beamer, currently in P3. Last season's champion. Is it going to rain around here in Imola, or is it going to be dry? By the way, guys, I will not spoil the F1 Canadian Grand Prix either. I know it's wet, that's the only thing I could say. But once this race is done here in Imola, I'm going to go watch the Canadian Grand Prix, because I ended it off on lap 25. I don't want to say anything either, but even George Hargreaves, how are you doing, mate? It's a shame, really, because I had to commentate when the race is really, really good so far. I didn't want to go away from the screen. I was actually going to pay a lot of commentary, but due to my loyalty and respect here, I didn't want to either. But this is going to be very interesting heading down into turn 2. Heavy braking zone indeed. And we might see some contact going down into turn 2. Good luck to the other boys, the 31 drivers in this lobby that I've got to keep an eye out. It still says drive, as Dylan Crosby is in the pit lane then. I'm not quite sure what happened to him in the Honda, but a nice livery there for Dylan. So whatever problem he had, whether he joined a bit too late or didn't press drive, he'll have to start from the pit lane, which is going to be a massive downside for him in terms of his race. And it is difficult enough to overtake it. Obviously, these cars obviously don't have DRS or anything like in F1 or the battery. It all depends on the setup as well, the straight line speed and the fuel mix as well. That's all you can rely on. Try and get better exit corners if you can out the corners. Where is the best place to overtake? Like turn 2? Unless one of these guys makes a mistake in the corner, because it's really easy to clatter the curb and lose the back end of the car and slide it to the corners as well in terms of locking the rears up. It's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers manage during this race. So a formation lap and a rolling start. There's no standard start here in ACC, which is a shame really. I don't know why they don't do standard starts unless obviously like, I don't know, maybe they just want to avoid contact. What is the reason? Is it tyres? I don't know why, but anyways, what a lovely track this is around here. Autodromo Enzo Indino Ferrari. It's a good race for Formula 1 too, albeit though the Imola Grand Prix this season was quite boring. The Imola Grand Prix in terms of the World Endurance Championship was quite interesting as well. We're seeing like plenty of overtakes too, crashes, spins. Second to last corner is best for overhaling, says the Flying Dane. I really want to say something about the Flying Dane, not you in terms, but obviously your driver, your man. If you are an F1 fan, but obviously I don't want to spoil the results at the same time in F1. Are you an F1 fan, the Flying Dane? But good luck to your boys there, Eckholt and Wichtrup in P19 and 13, in the McLaren and the Beamer. We'll keep an eye on the whole field then. There's not really like, I don't have the settings for like most gained and most lost like places, if that makes sense. So Dylan Crosby then in the pit lane, as all 30 drivers then will do their rolling start, double formation, and we could get racing as soon as Ewan hits that line. Crawling, very, very careful not to overtake and get above the speed limiter either, which is about 80 kilometers an hour, unless it changes for different races, of course. But here we are then for the first race of the season. We're about to get green flag racing in a few seconds' time. Ewan will lead them away in the BMW with Josh in the McLaren right behind. The green light is right now, and we get racing here in Imola, and Ewan maintains the lead, but Josh is looking to go around the outside, double formation, so we're going to see side by side all the way down into turn 2 we go. Not the best camera angle, but look at Josh trying to stick around the outside. Ewan bounces over the curves, but he maintains the lead of this Grand Prix with Josh in P2. Nathan stays in P3, and it looks like they all go away unscathed. I see a yellow flag in the background momentarily as we go double formation. A few people swapping places, Yorkers are swapping places there with Pell as we go down into the Villeneuve chicane we go, and we've got a lot of changes in the midfield to the mid-pack, and I think Nathan stay where he is. Campbell and P5 ahead of Jake Garrett. They're going side by side in the Lamborghini and the Audi, and we'll see gets a better exit coming out of Torsa we go as we head into Peratella. Jake Garrett stays in P6, but look at that, Harry Palmer is looking to go up the inside, but he can't quite make it. That's not Harry Palmer, that's Jay, sorry, looking to go up the inside but can't quite make it stick. He has to stay behind Jake Garrett for the time being. Then he's currently a 10th behind. But here we are then, heading through Acre Minerali. Jorgensen's lost some places there. He's down to P13. Not quite sure what happened to him. Whether he broke early, let those guys go, or he was side by side with somebody, he had to back out. But either way, he's lost a few places there. So, looks like a relatively clean first lap. Not seen any obvious mistakes, but look at Wichtrup, who's quite far behind, unfortunately. So he must have got caught up in some first lap case shenanigans. And look at this then. Paul Kidney is under massive pressure from Pell right behind. And let's see if the BMW can defend off the McLaren. Look at that down the inside he goes. And what a move that was as he puts himself further up the field. And Eckholt there in a P14. I think that was him who went up the inside of Pornikin. And the screen changes a lot as Campbell, Jake Garrett's a lap down, but yeah, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, the gap in front is 4:10. Human Small sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. He's got Josh Evandro hunting him down as he made a mistake, I think, going through turn 2 into turn 3. Nathan is currently 1 second behind then, so for the time being is not able to keep up the pace of the top 2 there. And we've got Campbell, who's currently sitting in P5 with Jay Garrett all over the back of him too, with Jay waiting in the background. I think 2 cars have swapped places there, and he's moved up himself a P11 ahead of Jeroen in P12. And Scott Dodds there fighting away in P20 with McCartney right ahead. There's a flashing light there too. Few drivers flashing lights as we've got more action going on into Tulsa we go. Not able to identify some of these drivers, of course, but I'll get used to it. It is a better experience for me. I know a few drivers, of course. Am I able to press drive without... Oh. So how do I do this then? I want to go on board with the leader. There we go. Ewan Small currently in P1. And there he is in the BMW ahead of Nathan Booth in P3. Why does it skip, by the way? Can't it just stay like this? Anyways, Josh is still hunted down Ewan Small for P1 of this race. I think he's dropped back just a bit there, but I don't like the way when you flick through, it goes on board with different drivers in different positions rather than P1, P2, P3. A bit of flashing there for Tope as he wasn't really happy with something. As I'm not quite sure, but I think that's one of his mates there. That is Total P's. So just flashed each other there, but I think Nathan Booth then has closed in, and as you can see the laps there, Nathan Booth was 2 tenths quicker than Josh Evandro in P2. He's 4 tenths away now, so Nathan, who's gained about 8 tenths on the last lap, has done a fantastic job to close in. But I want to go on to return to garage now because I'm starting to get confused now between the cameras. But Rosnov has set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and Josh Evandro's just lost 5 tenths there. The gap was 2, now back up to 7, so it keeps fluctuating. But did I see a bit of rain on the circuit, or was that my eyes deceiving me? I did see some rain, you know, but looks like it's staying dry for the time being then as we make our way out of Tulsa. The thing is though, when you select a driver, you don't know who you're on board with, or you're obviously going to pay a lot of attention here in commentary. But Hansen's going side by side with Whichcote. But let me change the camera settings for you because this is not the ideal camera settings if you want it off board. I think Eckholt is going side by side with Jorgensen, the 2 Danish drivers, but Jorgensen defends the inside line. But what's a switch back from Eckholt? Can he get the better drive? Yes, he can. And Eckholt is ahead of Jorgensen, but Jorgensen has backed out of it. And does he go late? He almost went to the back of him, but managed to control out the brakes. He does go out wide through Acre Minerali as Rosnov again quickest there. They can see the purple. I think that is the purple middle sector there for Rosnov. The fastest lap he's got so far. He started to close in on Nathan Booth, who started to get a time on Josh Evandro too for P2. But Ewan Small currently maintains the lead of this Grand Prix here, so close battles all around. Jorgensen's quite close behind Eckholt, although he's just dropped back because the gap does update a few seconds, so it's not really constant, the gap. It's you have to wait a few seconds for it to update. I think it's each sector where it updates. So we go on to lap 3 then with Josh Evandro, who's currently 1.1 behind. So I think Josh Evandro might have to look behind now to see Nathan in his rear wing. And the BMW is getting closer towards the McLaren, with Campbell as well approaching the back of the scene, followed by Rosnov as Ewan Small once again sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he continues to pull away and extend his gap. While nothing's going on, let me change the camera settings back to where it should be. I forgot how to do it. There we go. So I've changed it back and let me return to garage. This is what I don't like doing, you know. I think the spectator mode has to improve, but I think I should get used to it at the same time. But look at Rosnov now starting to put pressure on Booth ahead of him. Nice Sky livery there for Rosnov, currently 2/10 away as he's in the Ferrari chasing down the Beamer, and let's see if Rosnov can find a way to overtake Nathan. Apparently coming out of Varianta out chicane going into Ravazza 1 is the best place to overtake, so Nathan's got his hands full of the local team of Ferrari as their factory is a few miles down the road, I think it is anyway, around this circuit. So 3 laps into this Grand Prix. I keep forgetting that, I was thinking, why is it only 3 laps? So I realised this is ACC, not Formula 1, otherwise we would have been further into the laps in F1. Harry Palmer started to put pressure on the Lexus in front, so that's Kevin in P11 there. He started to put pressure on. I don't think Kevin's in the same party as Harry Palmer, because I left quite late to try and set the commentary stream up. They're all in a party with each other trying to communicate. I know Josh is trying to do his best to try and keep Nathan behind and also catch Ewan Small at the same time. Me, Josh and Harry Palmer had a race around, I think it was Japan a few days ago, and they did a great job. It was just me who let the team down because I stalled the car. I turned the ignition up, but look at Campbell side by side now as we head down towards turn 2. Can the Audi go around the outside? Yes, he can of Rosnov. What a great lunge that was around the outside. Carry the speed, carry the confidence, and also on the brakes. Campbell goes up into P5 ahead of Jake Garrett there. Was that the wrong person? Yeah, it was, so apologies about that one. Get confused. No, it was Campbell got past Rosnov. Yeah, it was. So the timing screens did not update. Oh, in the background, somebody's had a spin. Who is that? Has gone off for a spin? That's Jake Garrett. Jake Garrett has gone for a spin at the exit of the Verona chicane, and he's going to be absolutely fuming. He's got some great pace, but here comes the pack as HJ will take advantage too, although he's further up the road. This is what I mean. It's not constant, this thing. It updates every few seconds. So Jake Garrett's not in P6 no more. As we make our way now towards the middle sector where the timing sheets will update, and Jake Garrett will find himself in a P9, so he's lost a place now. Actually lost a lot of places too, as Jake Garrett continues to fall down the order into P12. So that's a huge mistake there for Jake Garrett, who was currently in the runner-up in the championship last season. So not a great race. He's currently down to P15 now, is Garrett. As we can see there, 2 drivers going side by side, going into the chicane. That's Pell, who looks like he's backing off in the McLaren there. Allows Harry Palmer to go through as well, so quite sure what's going on there between those guys. But yeah, Ewan's got a healthy margin ahead of Josh Evancho. The gap is 1.2 now. Nathan Booth is starting to close in on Josh ahead of him. The gap is 6/10. It's dropped Campbell, so Campbell's lost a lot of pace though. Not lost a lot of pace, but lost a lot of time, it must be said, because he was close behind Nathan Booth, albeit he had to fight with Rosnov going into turn 2 around the outside, so that explains why he lost a bit of time. But Harry Palmer still putting pressure as into the pit lane comes Pell. And look at that, who's that going off in the background there? That was the McLaren, and he's got for a huge mistake there. That was from Harry Palmer. Broke himself into turn 2, and Kevin gets a bit of breathing space. I think Jorgensen's gone through as well, so Harry making a big mistake. Actually, Harry stays ahead of Jorgensen. That's how much he's pulled ahead of the the Danish driver. Jorgensen is currently in the Ferrari, trying to defend with Eckholt in P13. Both McLarens are chasing him as well. Pell right behind with Son. Rosnov is still in the back of Campbell, so despite Campbell overtaking him, looks like Rosnov is still sticking in the back of the Audi there in P4. What can Campbell do? Campbell is starting to lose a bit of time towards Nathan Booth, but we'll see what the split is going into this middle sector here. What is the gap between Nathan? But look at this, down the inside goes Rosnov, and when they make contact, he has to bounce over the cut. They do make contact, and Campbell's off wide, and here comes Rosnov, more contact again. And this is not great from these two because they lose a lot of time. Now you can see that the Sky driver of Rosnov is really frustrated, as he knows they both lost a lot of time towards Campbell. Nathan, sorry. Ewan Small once again sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, continues to pull that advantage ahead of Jay Evancho in P2, Nathan Booth in P3, still putting pressure on Josh ahead of him, as I think Pell was the one that pitted quite early, didn't he, in the race. And HJ now is ahead of Rosnov, so Rosnov's lost a place there. Did he make a mistake out of the Varianta outer chicane? But I'm not quite sure. There's blue flags though. We'll see what happens down to turn 1 And looks like the driver behind is getting out of the way then to avoid all the chaos there. He's a lap down, unfortunately. So who is that? Who's getting out of the way? Is that Jake Garrett down in P31? Yes, it is. So Jake Garrett has pitted and he's a lap down, where they had to get some, where they had to fix the car or not, I'm not quite sure. Does that look like rain? It looks like a bit of drops are started to spit on the circuit, but it looks like it's very light rain and not constant either. Not enough to affect the track conditions either here in Imola. But Ewan Small, what a drive from here so far in the Beamer, currently leading by almost 2 seconds ahead of Evandro in P2. Can Josh respond? He's got to, because he's got Nathan all over the rear of him. 8/10 is a massive gap as well, to be said. In Formula 1 terms, it's not a massive gap because obviously you have the DRS wide open to try and overtake your rivals on the straight. And Zaitsev is trying to fight with... Oh, he's got past him, has he? Rosnoff has let him go, which is quite interesting. And yeah, wonder what happened there between those two. Whether it was team or... Well, they were different teams, but I'm not quite sure if they're both in the party together, whether he thought Rosnoff it was faster or not. Jay Dunn did silently make his way through the field, currently in P8 there, in the McLaren, currently hunting down Zovnov right in front of him. Can Campbell respond now? What's the gap going to be between him and Nathan Booth? Let's have a look to see what the gap is. It was 2.1, it's still 2.1 between Campbell and Nathan Booth then. He's actually dropped as Zovnov has really lost some pace. I wonder what's happened to him with his tyres overheating. He got some damage, I'm quite sure. But he's lost a bit of time now towards Campbell in front of him and further back. We can see a battle going on there with Kevin. That's too far back, sorry. That's what confused me about the spectator mode. I think that was a lap car. Was it Rob? I'm not quite sure. I still yet to identify who's in what car. There are the guys further back through the field. As Ewan Small continues to lead ahead of Josh Evandro in P2. Nathan Booth in P3. Tope is having a battle there. Jacob Booth is moving up the field a bit as well, currently in P19. So he started, I think, in P23 or P24. Scott Dodds also started down there too. But who's gone wide in the background? Was that Hobbsy? No, it wasn't. It was Longfellow. So Longfellow made a mistake out of the Villa chicane. And Hobbsy... Nathan Booth, though, started to put the pressure on John. Under pressure. Where is his best chance to overtake? Josh is a really good defender. He knows a lot about this game. He knows where to defend. He knows where the best opportunities to overtake are. Tries to keep Nathan Bay in the right places at the right time. How can Nathan respond? Where will he have to fight him? It's going to be very hard and straight because there's not a lot of power. There's not a lot of straight advantage or slipstream advantage either on this straight. Whereas if it was a Formula 1, he would have blasted past by now with the DRS on this straight, a long straight as well. But you don't really gain much in the straights here or any other circuit. Sorry, I got a bit of hay fever, so I'm starting to develop a sneeze on my throat's getting a bit sore as well. So yeah, that's why I got a croaky voice so far. So I apologize about that. Hay fever season has really affected me a lot. As we can see Son there in P15. Trying to keep an eye on everybody as I possibly can. Not really much overtaking being made. Also, my nose is being blocked too, so that's why my voice sounds a bit funny. Yeah, my nose is blocked as well, so not good for people who suffer with hay fever here in the UK or elsewhere around the world. As the gals continue to update then. Wayne in P17, 1.3 seconds away from the beam in front of him. Can he catch up? He's got a toe right behind him as well. As Ewan once again has the fast lap of the Grand Prix. What about Campbell? The gap's gone down to 1.9. HJ 2.4 seconds away in that middle sector. And Nathan just can't find a way to get past the McLaren driver in front of him, so has to stay behind him once again. Harry Palmer once again though has caught up to Kevin in front of him. So let's see this time. Can Harry Palmer in the McLaren overtake Kevin? I'm surprised by Harry Palmer, you know, because he's been really quick in the other races we've seen him witnessing, but here in Imola, looks like he's struggling just a bit. I think I did hear mention him struggling around the circuit. And he's starting to put Kevin under pressure again in the Lexus, as Kevin does love that car. What time is it now? It is 8:46, so I think the F1 race is still going, so once this race ends, just be careful not to look at your phones or anything like that on social media, because obviously it'll be everywhere. But look at Harry Palmer then right to the back of Kevin's exhaust pipe, and let's see if he can try and overtake him on the straight. Has he got the straight line speed against the Frenchman in the McLaren? I'll have a look to see, but he's too far back on this occasion. Further up the field though, somebody looks like they go for a move, but it looks like they bite out of it as well. Kevin goes a bit wide. Will that open up the door for Harry Palmer to try and swing his way past? Kevin still remains on the racing lines. There's no way past for the time being. Further in front though, these guys getting ever so close between each other. That's what I mean. The timing thing is, it sets 1 second away, but once it comes to the first set, it all changes, and they're actually closer than they are. But here's Harry up the inside into turn 7 we go, and he's got past Kevin. Does he get the better exit, the better drive out of Tulsa? They're still side by side as we climb up towards the hill now. Nathan, though, in P3 has lost a bit of time towards Josh, so Josh has started to pull away. But they go side by side into Peratella. Does Nathan, does Harry and Kevin. Kevin gets a bit squeezed on the exit, and Harry Palmer stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's car 62, who was sped in the pit lane. That's further down the field, and that was Jorgensen who's pitted. So unfortunately Jorgensen there has cost himself a stop-go penalty like he did in Japan. Because I was racing in Japan, where I think the likes of Jorgensen was racing there too. I'm not quite sure who the other Norwegians were. But yeah, Jorgensen does have problems with penalties. And in the background there's somebody really wide as well. I think that was a lap driver because I can't quite tell who it was. But Ewan Small, what's the advantage he has in P1? It was 2.1 seconds last time we looked at it. It's 2.7 now, so 6/10 advantage that Ewan's got ahead of Josh, and looks really comfortable there in P1. Doesn't look like he's going to be challenged anytime soon. Josh has dropped Nathan, and Josh now can try and get a bit of fresh air, while Nathan has to contend with Campbell right behind. So Campbell, despite battling with Rosnoff a few laps ago, is now starting to catch Nathan Booth for P3, so looks like Campbell could be the charge for a podium here in Imola. So Nathan, who was hunting down Josh, is now being hunted, and Campbell looks like he's getting very close contention too. Campbell's really fast here on ACC too, so keep an eye on him throughout the whole season. But so far it's been a decent race, not many overtake him. Oh, who's that got off the track? Let's have a look, shall we? Was it Wayne? I think that's Toto Pease who's gone off the track. I can't quite tell. Yes, it is. Is it? No, there he is. Yeah, that's what I mean. But somebody else got off the track too. I'm starting to get a bit lost here, you know. It's quite difficult to tell who's who. And Robert Allen there going off the track out of the Vernon chicane. But I'm not quite sure who that other car was. Hogben is also off the track as well in the Vernon chicane. So a few drivers here making mistakes. And that's a lovely car, by the way. Green and a bit of purple added to it. But here we are, Campbell right at the back of Nathan there, and Campbell kindly line up and overtake on Nathan. You can see him much confident on the brakes too. Is the 793 driver right behind number 17, and we'll see if he has the straight line speed to overtake Nathan JB on the straight. And here we go as we head on to lap 11, I think it is, out of the Grand Prix. Nathan JB under massive pressure with Campbell right behind then. Campbell, does he have the straight line speed in the Audi? He's trying to overtake Nathan Booth and the Beamer. Here he is, he pulls out. He was very confident last time he overtook him out here in turn 2, but looks like he breaks earlier than Nathan. He can't find a way past. Nathan there, not fazed by that one, and he stays in P3. Great control as well in the car. It's very easy to outbrake yourself going into turn 2. But Nathan Booth survives the threat from Campbell right behind, who looks like he's really starting to put some pressure on. Meanwhile, the more these guys battle, the better chance it gives Josh to pull away too. So that's helping Josh out a bit while Nathan's defending from Campbell. But that was good defending from Campbell, good defending from Nathan, and great attacking from Campbell. He's trying to go around the outside, but he wasn't close enough to try and fully go around the outside and take the racing line into turn 3. But definitely Campbell is going to overtake Nathan anytime soon, unless Nathan can respond, of course. But also Nathan is catching Josh at the same time. The gap is 1.4 seconds now, as Ewan once again extends his advantage. But look at the run that Campbell has coming out of Rocca Minerali. Just seems to get better traction, better demand. He's side by side with Nathan. Is he late to the brakes? Yes, he is. Does he make the corner? Yes, he does. And he puts himself up to P3. Look at the car bouncing over the curbs there. That was really harsh. As you can see there, now up to P3. Nathan JB having to watch out for Jay right behind him, and he's 1 second away too in the Porsche. Actually closer than that, because that's not accurate for the time being. But looks like Nathan then is under massive pressure from Jay right behind, and got to watch out for his mirrors too. Anything else happening further down the background? We've got Total P's right to the back of the BMW driver. Can he try and find a way past? We'll see. I think he's got his own name attached on his windshield there, just above his... yeah, yes he has then. It's on the roof of the car as Wayne. But here he is then, the number 16 driver. He's also on a controller like me. So I think he's doing really well so far in this race. And any more changes in the midfield going on here? I don't want to miss anything. Campbell starts closing on Josh ahead of him. Nathan looks like he's struggling just a bit now. And he's got Jay right behind him too for company. What's happened here with Palmer? Palmer's pulling away. He's actually putting pressure on the Honda ahead of him. A drive-through penalty once again for number 95. The Lightning McQueen number. And a bit too fast in the pit lane. And has to suffer a consequence of that one. That's Robert Allen once again. Jacob Booth running a lonely race down there in P17. And looks like Wayne is starting to catch now the BMW. I see a sprinkle of rain. I don't know if my eyes deceiving me, but somebody please tell me if anybody's seeing that. I just see a bit of dash of rain on the circuit. Not too much, just like a light drizzle, like just a little water tap or something. But anyways, Harry Palmer's right behind the Honda. Can he overtake him going into the Variante out chicane? No, he's too far back. But in the background, that's Kevin. I think he's gone out wide. I think it's a lap driver, so it's not Kevin, unfortunately. Well, I don't know why I said that, but it's not Kevin. Fortunately, it's not Kevin, but whoever's in between those two has made a big mistake. And here comes Harry Palmer then into the Variante out chicane. But what's Jay doing right behind Nathan? It looks like Nathan starts to pull away a bit from Jay, so got a bit of breathing space between himself and Jay in the port. Can Jay try and catch up though? That's the question. Harry Palmer so close behind the Honda, but can't find a way past. Can Harry Palmer? What about Wayne in the background there? He's too far away from the BMW. But anyways, the Honda is under massive pressure from Harry Palmer. But can Harry get past anyway on the circuit? The gap between Evandro and Small has continued to extend to 5 seconds. So it's a big gap between those two. And the gap is getting smaller between Campbell and Evandro then. So Evandro defending once against Nathan. Can he do it again with Campbell? Campbell seems like he's got decent straight line speed on that straight, but can he overtake Josh? That's the question. A really good defender is Josh. We've seen in the past few races too. And I think Campbell's gone a bit wide, I think, going through Ecomelo early, so he might have lost a bit of time. Has Campbell just outbroke himself, missed the apex. Looks like the clouds will start to gather in too around here in Imola, so we might see a bit of rain soon. In fact, we won't see rain because at the top left of the screen, which I didn't notice, it's got the weather information. So I didn't actually notice that, my bad. But anyways, US Moore continues to lead. And Harry Palmer has actually dropped back off Josh. He's overtaken him, yeah. Harry Palmer, which we missed, has overtaken the Honda. And he puts himself up into P9. Looks like he's getting darker and darker out there here in Imola. As the cars make our way now into Avatsa 1. 95, Robert Allen gets another drive-through penalty, unfortunately for him. What's going on between these guys back here in the field? Matt Hobbsey in P14 looking to try to overtake Witchtrup, who fell down the order dramatically, unfortunately, after a spin. And also Jay Garrett, main contender, who's 2 laps down. There he is in P28 in the Lamborghini. And he is not going to be happy. He hasn't been happy for a while here in ACC. Has been frustrated with himself, criticised himself a bit as well. He's really good at race pace, but he can't seem to hook it up in qualify, which has been his downfall recently. And if you hear me sniffing in the background, that's because I've got hay fever, so my nose is a bit blocked, so apologies about that one. But Nathan Booth is in the pit lane. He's the main driver in the top end of the field to make a pit stop with fuel. He's obviously the mechanics are out there, but it is for him. So let's see if the strategy's worked in Nathan's favour. Would he rejoin ahead of the guys ahead? No driver spots, of course. These drivers are driving for an hour around here in Imola. So Campbell now in striking distance of Evandro. Evandro can see his mirrors full of the Audi right behind. Race started about 56 minutes ago, or actually the whole session started about 56 minutes ago, including qualifying. But things are spicing up now in terms of the pit stops started to happen around here. So Nathan JB rejoins in P25, a clear track ahead of him. And let's see then if he can try and use his tyre advantage and fuel as well as try and get back third place. There's Scott Dott in the Nissan in P17, started down in P24 I think, and did a great job there in P617. Tope in 15th place having a quiet race with nobody around him. His mate though, Wayne, he got past Tope. We didn't actually see that on the circuit, but he actually got past him, so not quite sure where that happened. But anyways, McCartney is right behind the BMW. Can he try and find a way past on the straight? The BMW will have decent straight line speed if I remember correctly. Not quite sure, but anyways, what's happened to number 56? 56 of Jay is in the pit lane then. And he's also responded to Nathan's pit stop. So let's see where he rejoins in comparison towards Nathan as we head down towards turn 2 in the chicane we go. Peace is doing a great job considering he's on controller as well. I like to race him because I'm also a controller player around here as well. So let's see where the main guys rejoin. There is Jay. They've got some more followers right behind too. It's a long pit stop obviously, adding fuel. But Campbell's dropped back just a bit towards Josh Evandro too, so lost the advantage slightly there on what he had on Josh before. And where's Nathan Booth going to rejoin in comparison towards Jay? Here he is on the main straight. It's a long pit stop around here. You lose a lot of time, about 30 seconds, or maybe more than that, because obviously we got fuel added to the car. Think about Formula 1. But Nathan Booth then, where is Jay in the pit lane? So Nathan Booth has got ahead of Jay. And you can see that was a massive undercut too. But obviously we'll see the fuel lose too. So we might see another pit stop there for Nathan in the next few minutes or so. As Ewan Small then has made his pit stop too. That's how long the pit lane is, and the pit lane time loss, because you're on the other side of the track as well. So what is it? The pit lane loss is about 50 seconds a minute? I'm not quite sure. Stop and go penalty for number 13. And who is that, I wonder? Number 13 is Tope. So Tope, unfortunately, has got a stop-go penalty. So Josh then leads this race ahead of Campbell in P2. And McCartney's pitted as well in P12. Let's see where Ewan will join in terms of this pack. I was trying to do something. I was trying to search something up. I actually can't remember what I was going to do now. Maybe I'll try to get a track map up because I couldn't quite remember what corners were what. But so cars fly past the straight. Ewan has been in absolute control during this Grand Prix. Not put a foot wrong whatsoever. He's coming out of the pit lane right now. Rejoins. Where is he going to rejoin? Behind the number 16? Who is a lap down, I think he is. So Ewan will rejoin. Should be ahead of Nathan J. Booth. And he is as well. So Nathan hasn't got the jump on Ewan. There he is on the straight. And Ewan stays in P14. Got a massive gap over the rest of the field. Has nothing to worry about so far. And Rosnoff looks like he was close behind Zaitsev, but not close enough for the time being. Campbell is 1.5 seconds away from Jay Evandro. He still hunts him down, but I think Josh is going to enter the pit lane now. Campbell is going to stay out there for a lap or two and try and get Josh out of the pit lane. Great stuff indeed then. So we are halfway in this race. And Josh leads ahead of Zaitsev in P12, Rosnoff in P3. I'll go on board with the cameras that I want to go on board with. There it is then. And stop and go penalty for number 13 once again. I like this camera angle because I like to look at the drivers on board. I don't have all the on boards that I like to do, but somebody's made a mistake. That's Robert Allen coming out the corner of Tulsa. And Josh Evandro is in the pit lane then. So let's see, where will he rejoin in comparison towards Campbell? Will Campbell get ahead of him in the pit lane as 964 is in the pit lane? So a long pit lane around. It must take ages, but obviously every driver suffers the same thing. I'm quite nervous for the Canadian Grand Prix. I don't know who's won it. Well, obviously I don't because I've not watched it. But a lot of things went on in the Canadian Grand Prix. I don't want to look at my phone just in case there's spoilers on there. But Josh rejoins the P15 and has Campbell got ahead of him. Let's find Campbell. There he is in P1. Campbell has a pitted, so obviously he's not got ahead of him. Return to garage because that's much easier than rather than using that camera angle. So there's Campbell, and Josh is in the P15. Is Campbell going to pick this lap? Yes, he is. So let me change my camera settings once again. I keep forgetting to do that, you know. What was my camera setting? Yeah, there it is. That's the best camera setting there is. That's Eckholt in P18 there, who we did see go for a spin. Wait, let me change my camera settings back. So I promise you guys, I will not mess with the camera settings once again. I do like to try new things around. I'm still getting used to the game as well. Ewan's about to come towards some traffic as well, so hopefully they don't cause too much of an impact for him, as he's having a trouble-free race so far. Harry Palmer, Kevin Campbell is in the pit lane as well, so watch out for him. And Josh, as Pell in the McLaren livery, that's a lovely livery too, is also in the pit lane. So main person we want to keep an eye out is Josh Evandro, as he's looking to try and beat try and beat Campbell out of the pit lane, which is going to be very important for his race. But his second most of this race, but we know Campbell's got some decent pace. And my download has resumed for some reason, even though I told it not to, so it might affect the internet slightly. If it does affect the internet, is Josh Evandro there? Where will he rejoin in comparison towards Campbell? Campbell is in the pit lane. Was that a white flag? I think it was. There's Campbell out of the pit lane right now. Obviously, he's lost a bit of time towards Josh because he's got fresher tyres. But we'll see if that advantage has worked out for Campbell in the end. Is that their last pit stops for one stop only around here in Imola, or do they have to make another pit stop? We'll have to find out and see. Ewan Small, though, is the net race leader. Currently untroubled so far at the front. It looks like Josh was putting pressure slightly in the first few laps of this Grand Prix, but not able to make an impression, as we've got a few people having stop-go penalties. I think it is. Yeah, stop-go penalty for number 65 as well. So that is Pell in 13th place. He's got a stop-go penalty. Just trying to go and see what's going on throughout the whole field here. Not much action going on throughout the field so far. I'm trying to keep an eye on everybody, as I think we've got a few people in the pit lane and also having drive-through penalties or stop-go penalties. If you spin in the pit lane in F1, you get a 5-second time penalty, don't you? But this one, ACC, really harsh, isn't it? Like, if you spin in the pit lane, you get a 30-second stop-go penalty. That's really long. Spend the majority of the race in the pit lane doing server penalties. And we're about to see a battle then. Who is this? This is Ewan Small right behind Wichtrup, and it's about to make an easy overtake with the fresh tyres, of course. Wichtrup hasn't pitted just yet, as the Honda is in the pit lane right now. How hard will the BMWs fire with each other? As Ewan Small goes up into P5 ahead. Didn't lose too much time behind him either, which is convenient for him. So Campbell, can he catch Josh? Got somebody in front of him so far, and somebody behind him. Is that Nathan Booth? Yeah, Nathan Booth has caught Campbell quite a lot as well, so it looks like Nathan Booth's got some decent pace. But here he is then, as we go about to go down to the Villa chicane. Can Nathan have the inside line? We try to overtake him. He's putting Campbell under all sorts of pressure as we make our way now into Tulsa. It's a good job of kept an eye on this battle. Here he is, up the inside into Tulsa. Can he be a bit late to the brakes? He made contact, and not enough to merit any damage. More contact as well as they go side by side at the corner. Campbell versus Nathan Booth. We climb the hill towards Piratella now. Nathan surely has the racing line on the inside line, but can try and Campbell sticking around the outside. More contact as well. Campbell goes off the track, and he stays in front of him, of Nathan. We continue the battle down to Acre Minerale. They're bumping and grinding each other as we go side by side. It's Acre Minerale. Nathan has been tagged, and he's half spun the car. And he slides, unfortunately, and Campbell stays ahead of Nathan Booth. It was a very fierce battle indeed between those two, but Nathan Booth Campbell stayed ahead, You don't really see side by side going into Aquaman or Raleigh, but Nathan will be absolutely furious now, and Harry Palmer might take advantage of that too, as we've got more people pitting for their first pit stops. So Campbell has been relieved, and what about Harry Palmer? Can he try and catch Nathan Booth? He's just further up the road is Nathan Booth. We'll see if it's affected his pace or not, but they were bumping the ground each other. Rubber is racing. Rubbing is racing, there we go, not rubber. But there it is then, the confirmation. Campbell now ahead of Nathan Booth, with Harry Palmer starting to gain in as well, as Ewan Small once again sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Wayne is right behind Crosby too. Well, I think he's just overtaken him in the Honda. Yeah, he has. He's just overtaken him, has Wayne, so he's got past Crosby. And he puts himself into P15. And Ewan Small has overtaken Wistrup, who has also stayed out there too. We didn't quite see that overtake because we're watching Nathan JB and Campbell at the same time. So 23 minutes left to go in this race. Ewan Small has got this in the bag unless he makes mistakes. We're about to see Eckholt and Jay go hammer on tongue at it. McLaren is trying to defend him, but Jay's going to go up the inside. Into the chicane we go, but can't seem to try and get ahead. He goes a bit deep, does Jay, and here comes Son, who goes past him. Or yeah, sorry about that. Eckholt goes deep and Jay goes past him. Get confused between those two. Oh. Ewan Small then continues to lead, but Josh Evandro now is right at the back. But actually he's got past him, so he puts himself into P3. We've got a lot of field spread throughout the field there, so not much going on. We've got Campbell right at the back of the Honda as he goes up the inside. Or tries to go up the inside, but can't quite make it stick. But it's an absolute dominant race there for Ewan Small in P2. In the background, somebody's made a slight mistake. I don't know who that was. He was a lap down, was that driver. But this is a battle now for position between the Honda and the Audi. Campbell right at the back as we head into Aquaman and Raleigh we go. 21 minutes of this race remaining for the first race of the season here in Imola. And it's Harry Palmer catching Nathan Booth. There he is, just further up the road too. Nathan is starting to close in, but Campbell gets a better exit out of the Variante out chicane, and he puts himself into P5. But Nathan gained a little bit of time towards Campbell after Campbell got stuck behind the Honda driver. And now Nathan himself was trying to overtake him. I think there's a back marker in the way of those two. Yeah, there is a back marker, so hopefully he gets out of the way as Nathan flashes his light. Ewan Small there he is in P1, I think he is. No, P2, sorry, because first place hasn't pitted yet, so Rosnov has gone 22 laps in this race, 40 minutes without even pitting so far. I think Campbell's a bit too far away from Josh, unless Campbell has the better advantage towards the end of the Grand Prix. Just scrolling through to see if anything happened throughout the field. Trying to keep my voice to a minimum here because it's quite difficult to commentate. So got a blocked nose, unfortunately, so that's not great news at all. But Jay Garrett, who is sliding through turn 2, he's really struggling. This Jay Garrett is right behind Jacob Booth. But Jay Garrett, who spun earlier in this race, after he spun at the Vilna chicane at the exit, a lap down, pitted early doors too. He's driving with frustration. What's guys further down the field doing here? Scott Dodds in P23 with Tope right behind him. Tope made a pit stop a few laps ago, and now he's on the back of Scott. As Scott does go out wide, I think Tope's at the back of him. He stayed behind too because it looked like he did got the throttle as quickly as he could have to try and overtake him. But Rosnov has not pitted just yet. He's coming up towards some back markers. And Nathan Booth started to catch the Honda now. As we head towards turn number 2 we go. Harry Palmer just there in the background going through turn 2. He's got a few back markers in the way. Eckholt under massive pressure from Sonrail behind too. And Pease is right behind the BMW, as he was in the first stint too. Can Pease try and find a way past of that pack? But he'll automatically put me back on board, as my thing was a bit glitched there. What's happened to Nathan Booth? Where is he gone? I think my thing is a bit glitched. Have I lagged out? I've been disconnected from the server, boys. I'll try and join back as soon as I can. Sorry about that, guys. Had a bit of a disconnection, but hopefully we could get back in. Oh, it's taking me somewhere else. It's taking me to a random lobby. Yeah, I think I've been brought into a random lobby. It says Co-Racing League Endurance. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened here, but I think I've been completely disconnected. Let me try again. Oh, the server crashed. Yeah. So, do you want me to... What do we do? Do we continue the stream? Do you want me to end the stream? Is that the race done? Well, by the looks of it, I think the race then, unfortunately tonight, has been cancelled because there's only 20 minutes left in the race, and obviously people got work tomorrow, so I don't think we can restart it. But yeah, it was a quite interesting first race for my first time here in ACC. Enjoyed it, wasn't too bad. But yeah, Ewan was absolutely dominated tonight. Shame I couldn't talk to him in the party interviews. But yeah, now it's time to watch the Canadian Grand Prix. I think I end the stream here then. So thank you very much for tuning in here, and we'll see you all next Sunday. And goodbye for now.